Hi, and welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 16th of September 2025. So gold soars to new record high ahead of Fed. Bonds and stocks are bid. Gold surges amid more liquidity and loose financial conditions. And even the Financial Times has joined in the party now, with gold could hit nearly 5,000 if Trump undermines Fed, says Goldman Sachs. Also, JP Morgan has changed tune as well, and also talking of the same sort of number there as well. Meanwhile, US stocks indexes or indices gained amid US-China talks, with mega cap stocks doing most of the lifting, as Alphabet joined the USD 3 trillion market cap club. Wow. T-notes were bid as a downbeat New York Fed manufacturing survey added to economic concerns, while the attention turns to US retail sales today and the FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow. So stocks were bid in the wake of China trade talks, while dollar lags. This is just a distraction. That's just a distraction that's being used in order to move the markets to the upside. But with regards to the economic news, today we've got the UK unemployment numbers in percentage terms, claimant count change there, which obviously gives you the numbers. And then we're over to the German ZEW economic sentiment, and then the retail sales out at 1:30, which of course is what the headline is alluding to. Again, all eyes are going to be on this. If they come out really poor, then that's just going to add weight for this 50 basis point cut in rates tomorrow. Right, let's have a look at the markets for yesterday. And I did notice when I was setting up that the S&P's made a new all-time high, but let's have a look at the other markets and kick off with the Dow. So in the Dow, the market is down yesterday, but managing to climb back and stay above yesterday, actually closing back above the 5-bar moving average and trying to get back above that overnight. In the 30-minute chart, a very choppy session there yesterday. You can expect more of that today as well, particularly in the stock markets. The metals have a different opinion, which we'll look at later on. But at the moment, choppy sessions are certainly going to be the case for the markets, apart from the S&P, which we'll look at in just a moment. So the Dow managing to move back to the upside there in anticipation that the Fed is going to be cutting rates tomorrow night, but they just don't know by how much. That's the issue now. That's the uncertainty that hangs over the markets at the moment. Let's have a look at the German DAX. And in the DAX, we remain stuck in this sideways move. However, the good news is we've got 3 days now of, or 2 days of rising lows following this low here. And overnight as well, the market trying to make its way back to the upside. So a bit of a positive there. And again, that situation of trying to break out through that resistance to then head back to the all-time high looks like it's on the cards, and probably will get the slipstream of the US if they do get that 50 basis points. It'll be a big spike to the upside, taking out this resistance. 30-minute chart, we started off well yesterday, but then by mid-morning we were down. We were then back up, and then the Dow futures looking a bit negative brought the market down, which you can see there, and is now starting to move to the upside. 30-minute chart shows this action, and again I would expect more of that today as well. We're just going back to the daily. We've got that sideways move with the rising lows now. So all we need is a 50 basis point reduction in the US tomorrow evening, and you'll see this market light up. And speaking of lighting up, well, the S&P is just about to make a new all-time high. Well, it is making a new all-time high at 66.24. Are we heading to 7,000 before this market actually takes a breather and moves to the downside? Let's just have a look at the monthly charts. And the reason I'm looking at this is just to show you how mad this actually is. If we go back to April with the tariffs, you can see there we had a 62% retracement down at 4,880, and then we've moved nothing but to the upside since then, taking out the last all-time high before those tariffs were announced by Trump, and now in the realms of certainly the twilight zone, which you can see there. 30-minute chart, we had a bit of a shakeout yesterday morning. Huge volume came in to support this market, and then we moved to the upside. We then had a bit of selling, and profit taking. The cash market did move lower, but it wasn't long before the buying resumed, and then into the overnight the market continues and is also above yesterday's high, which we can see there, and is also of course the all-time high. So in the FT100, the market was down yesterday, sideways to higher overnight. Why this market is up at these levels is beyond me, apart from manipulation, high frequency trading, algorithms and AI is probably the reason, given the backdrop of the economy falling apart. Not only that, but the government falling apart and everybody waiting for the day that Starmer leaves office. Hopefully it's one day closer each day. 30-minute chart, very, very choppy yesterday, but holding at the 200 MA in the 30-minute chart there, but just coming back below this now. So UK not doing too bright, but it's far too high. This, given what I've just said, should be way down in this chart, but there's no reality anymore. There's a complete disconnect between reality and the real world of what's going on in the market, so no surprise there whatsoever. So in the US dollar, this weakness continues. We're at a crucial point here, actually a major support line, so let's see what happens there. Could get a bit of a turnaround and a bit of a bounce there, but at the moment market moving low. If we get 50 basis points tomorrow night, we break this support and we head down to this level over here. If we go to the metals and have a look at those, some very interesting things happening there, as we saw in the opening salvo of this market alerts that gold has made a new all-time high. So let's have a look at that. So kicking off with gold, we've got a new all-time high overnight, 3689. We're heading to 4,000 before Christmas, particularly given tomorrow's events as well. So gold trying to break out of this sideways move at the moment. It's holding above the last high that was made. Just draw that in there at 3674. So moving higher on that. 30-minute chart. So we just had this breakout yesterday lunchtime, and the market has continued there, trying to bring in a bit of selling overnight, I see, in Asia. But that's failed, and the market is now moving back to the upside. The sort of shakeouts here in gold and silver now are seeing buyers coming in and saying, look, we need to grab this while we can. The whole landscape for the metals has changed completely within the last few months. In the silver market, we've got 42.73 overnight, another 14-year high. And in the 30-minute chart there, again, you can see at lunchtime yesterday the market ripping higher, and you can see that also backed by volume. There was some supply, there's traders trying to sell into it as it moved higher, but this was ignored again overnight. Look at this, they tried to shake the market out, and then it's been reversed and moved back to the upside. So silver, the smackdowns of $2 per ounce, I'm not saying are over, but they're going to be far less frequent than they have been for the last 20 years plus that I've been trading and watching this market. 20 years, it's actually 34 years. So again, the markets are trying to get it back above yesterday's high and stay above there. It has actually traded above it, but only by a few cents. Right, let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. And in the gold-silver ratio, when I looked at 3 a.m. this morning, this was actually moving back to the upside with green. It is slightly tinged with green there at the moment, but I suspect, depending on how fast the market moves, we'll see this maybe continue to red and then attack this level over on the left there as well. Right, let's have a quick look at yesterday's trades in the German DAX. So in the pre-market session at 7 a.m, prices started to move higher, no surprise there. And then it became very, very quiet with scalp trades unfolding. You can see how quiet it was when we opened. Despite the mega volume that we had in the first 2 minutes, it then sort of fell off a cliff, and then the market became sideways, which you can see there, just spiking up for a scalp trade, and the same on the downside before reversing. And then you can see how the 50 EMA also supported this market as well. And then we got into the situation of another move to the upside at the high. Didn't want to really take out the high. It attempted to, and then moved up until it was slammed with some selling, which you can see there with the red. and then the market trying to bounce once more, coming back. And let's have a shakeout and get rid of people first, which it did. You can see them buying back in there, massive volume. Second bar also, and then moving up. And then we had a potential sell signal, which then came back through the high, and we see the market drifting all the way down to the 200 MA in the mid-morning session there, and bouncing off this level and then trying to get back above the high. So let's go over to the US. You can see the Dow weakness in the futures, bringing the market back through that 200 MA and Friday's high there. And then we get to the close and the DP, and we get a big spike in volume there, and then prices start to find some support, as you can see there, and then make their way back. But the buy side failed, and then you can see we then had another potential sell, which was switched as the market took out the stop, and then we headed back up with the Dow and the S&P there. So a good recovery in the late afternoon there for the German DAX. But meanwhile, overnight prices are sideways at the moment. We haven't got to the 7 a.m. yet. It's only 20 minutes to 7. So the market stuck in this sideways move. Let's just have a look. We're above the DP, which is a positive at the moment. We've got the low 100 points lower and the high 100 points higher there as well. So at the moment, not a lot to report, and obviously it's going to be very choppy again today as the market awaits tomorrow night's FOMC meeting minutes announcement. Okay, that's it for this one. Have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.